Welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right into a story today that completely flips how we think about value, resources, and what it really takes to build something massive from absolutely nothing. I mean, picture this. You're looking at a huge pile of discarded junk, twisted metal, splintered wood, broken bike frames. Most of us just see a mess, right? But what if, instead of a mess, you saw a sprawling empire? Well, that is exactly the journey we're exploring today, and it is absolutely going to challenge how you look at the everyday objects around you.
So let's dive right into the big question here. How does a literal pile of scrap metal become a million-dollar empire? Now, this isn't some dry business case study about profit margins and supply chains. No, this is a true hero's journey of entrepreneurship. We're going to follow a young guy named Adam. He's a 20-year-old scrap collector who starts out with empty pockets, a really tough environment, and just this absolutely incredible imagination.
The whole philosophy that kicks off this journey actually comes straight from Adam's grandfather Joe. He drills this foundational belief into Adam. Sometimes the greatest opportunities are hidden where nobody else is looking. And you know, that is a massive mindset shift. It's all about training your brain to look past the surface level of a situation, to find that hidden potential underneath that everyone else is literally just walking right past.
Which brings us to Section 1, Treasure in the Trash, seeing what others miss.
So Adam starts his days in this bleak, dusty scrapyard. It's just full of rust, old metal, broken bicycles, you name it. To almost everyone walking by, it's just a wasteland of useless garbage. And this brilliantly shows the core difference between an entrepreneur and everyone else. The general public, and even Adam's incredibly loyal but kind of confused best friend Ben, look at the yard and just see garbage and problems. But Adam looks at that exact same pile of junk and sees opportunity. Ben actually turns to him at one point and says, "Bro, everyone else sees garbage." And Adam just smiles and says, "I see opportunity."
But hey, having a vision doesn't mean you get instant success. Adam starts repairing broken furniture, crafting these handmade items to sell at a local street market, and he faces immediate, harsh rejection. People actually point and laugh at him. They're like, who buys things made from trash? I mean, imagine that, pouring your heart into recycling and building something only to get publicly mocked. It's that classic early-stage startup struggle, right? The market just doesn't get the product yet.
But despite all the mockery, Adam just keeps this polite smile on his face. And then, finally it happens. A breakthrough. One single customer walks up and buys a small table. Just one. But that is all it takes. His friend Ben erupts into this loud, crazy cheering, shouting at the top of his lungs, "We're officially in business!" People around them are laughing, but for Adam and Ben, that one tiny sale validates the whole shebang. It proves their crazy concept actually works.
Moving right along to Section 2, Mastering the Craft, the Mentor and the Method.
Listen, every great entrepreneur eventually needs a guide to help them level up. For Adam, that's Mrs. Taylor, the owner of a local recycling workshop. She notices Adam's raw, unpolished creativity and steps in as a mentor to help turn his rough ideas into a legitimate enterprise. And the advice she gives him is just absolute gold. She tells him people don't buy wood or metal, they buy ideas. This is a huge turning point. It shifts Adam from being a struggling street vendor hawking recycled wood to a strategic craftsman selling a completely unique vision. She teaches him the mechanics of quality, marketing, and real customer service. And Adam doesn't just nod and listen. He puts in the sweat equity. Week 1, he is diving deep into learning proper woodworking. Week 2, he's mastering painting and finishing so things actually look professional. By week 3, he's designing completely new products from scratch. And week 4, it's all about relentlessly improving that craftsmanship. He's putting in the hours to elevate his work from recycled junk to highly desirable premium stuff.
As they start gaining real traction, Adam opens up a tiny workshop and brings Ben on as his official assistant. And naturally, that brings some comedy to the daily grind. There's this incredibly relatable startup moment where Ben accidentally paints a chair, totally forgets about it, sits right down on it, and then stands up absolutely covered in wet paint.
The whole workshop just loses it. It's a great reminder that even when you're in the trenches building a business, you got to keep a sense of humor and camaraderie with your team.
But of course, the laughter doesn't last forever. That brings us to Section 3, Surviving the Business Trials, Temptation, and Copycats.
So as Adam's workshop expands and customers start raving about his products, he unfortunately attracts the wrong kind of attention. A greedy businessman named Mr. Hunter approaches him with a dangerous shortcut: use cheap, inferior materials and charge high prices to just maximize those profit margins instantly. But Adam immediately shuts it down. He delivers this incredible line: "I want customers who trust me, not customers I fool." And why this matters for all of us is that it highlights a fundamental truth of long-term survival. Integrity and trust are your most valuable currency. You literally cannot fake it. Mr. Hunter storms off angry, but Adam protects the soul of his brand. Now, protecting your integrity doesn't magically shield you from the market. Suddenly, a massive corporate copycat crisis hits. A huge furniture company sees Adam's popularity and straight up steals his designs, mass-producing them on the cheap. Overnight, Adam's sales just absolutely plummet. His employees start to panic, asking him, "What are we going to do?" It is that terrifying do-or-die moment that almost every successful business faces when they start disrupting a market. But Adam doesn't panic. He smiles and lays out a brilliant two-part pivot for his team. Step 1, create even better, highly eco-friendly designs that big corporations literally can't replicate easily with their cheap materials. And step 2, treat every single customer like family. He leans heavily into the agility and the personal touch that only a small business can offer. The team rallies, and guess what? These new eco-friendly products don't just save the business, they turn it into a massive, undeniable success. Which leads us right into our final chapter, Section 4, Building a Meaningful Legacy, the Triumph. Let's slow things down just a bit and jump 5 years into the future to see the ultimate payoff of all those late nights, all that rejected scrap metal, and all that unshakable integrity. Just look at that number, $1 million. Adam now owns one of the country's largest sustainable furniture companies. A major business magazine even runs a massive headline that reads, "Scrap Collector Builds $1 Million Business." It's just an incredible testament to what happens when you combine relentless work ethic with an innovative vision. During an interview about this crazy level of success, a reporter asks Adam what kept him inspired. Adam's response is so profound. He says, "I learned that value isn't found, it's created." And the big takeaway for us here is that success isn't about waiting around to stumble onto a gold mine or waiting for the perfect conditions. It's about taking the raw, overlooked, maybe even messy materials of your life or your industry and forging them into something of immense worth. And Adam makes absolutely sure that worth is shared. He comes full circle by opening free training centers. He teaches recycling and entrepreneurship to the next generation. He actively helps unemployed young people find their footing and learn a real trade. He is literally turning waste into wealth, and more importantly, into hope. When Grandfather Joe sees all of this, he is moved to tears, finally realizing the true, far-reaching impact of what his grandson built. In the final moments of our story, Adam takes a quiet walk through that exact same scrapyard where this whole crazy journey kicked off. And as he's walking, a little boy looking at the junk looks up at him and asks this really innocent but deeply profound question: can garbage really change someone's life? Adam just smiles at the kid and delivers his final piece of wisdom. It's never about the garbage, it's about the imagination. And that really is the core message of this entire explainer. The raw materials of your circumstances do not dictate your outcome. Creativity is way more valuable than money, and success truly begins when you choose to see possibilities right where everyone else only sees problems. So I'll leave you with this to think about. What garbage in your own life is just waiting for a little imagination to become your $1 million empire?